My questions relate around the Minister's release about the focus on off-farm water, and he mentioned there's up to 150 gigalitres of projects already identified, and significant progress has been made on 70 gigalitres. My interest is around what accountability mechanisms there are to ensure that those identified projects, the ones up to 150 gigalitres, are approved and delivered in a timely manner. And will that be transparent?
Thank you, Senator, for the question. So I might just clarify further to what I was setting out for Senator McAllister. The Commonwealth is currently going through a process with Basin jurisdictions and infrastructure operators to identify possible and feasible off-farm modernisation projects. Our expectation in the very early stages of that stocktake process is that those projects may be able to deliver in the order of 70 gigalitres of water towards the 450 gigalitres. The announcement on the 4th of September confirmed the government's commitment to delivering the 450 through off-farm projects. So we are currently working to develop the program arrangements to get that program in place. So the framework under which decisions will be made in terms of committing Commonwealth funds. Obviously, there needs to be a key focus on value for money. We will and have undertaken to consult with Basin state jurisdictions on those program guidelines and framework in the first instance, but our intention is to publish that information and make it available transparently. And in terms of other assurance mechanisms, depending on the nature of the project, funding may be through state governments, or it may be directly with irrigation network operators, and under the terms of contracts put in place under the Commonwealth procurement framework and rules.
So eventually, if I understand what you've said, is that southern communities will get some visibility of when projects are approved and progressing.
That's correct, and indeed the Murray-Darling Basin Authority maintains a register of projects that have been undertaken towards delivering the 450 gigalitres.
So with the greater focus on off-farm, what's happening with the existing on-farm projects that have been lodged and new on-farm projects?
So we have a small number of on-farm projects that are being considered under the current arrangements. They are quite small in nature, and I think there are about 22 of them. So they are being processed under the current guidelines that are on the department's website.
So there can still be new on-farm projects,
so
not ruling them out?
Our commitment going forward is to work with states, and that it will be the responsibility of states to work with communities and ensure on-farm projects are community-led, community-supported and community-driven, and that's in response to the findings, in particular in the Sefton report around community concern in relation to on-farm projects.
It's also reasonable to say that the focus is on off-farm infrastructure. Yes.
Yeah. I'm interested in the multiplier of 1.75, the market value of the water. And as I understand it in my reading, that doesn't necessarily take into account the cost of a delivery partner. Is there going to be any review of the 1.75 in the sense that it creates sufficient incentive for purchasers?
We're conscious of the findings in the WESA report that around those issues. So something we are
ongoing
looking
reflection.
at exploring.
I had just one slightly different question. Has there been any analysis or work on the potential impact, if any, of the new Snowy scheme when it's complete on river flows or any parts of the river?
So that is a question that I will direct to the Murray-Darling Basin Authority to deal with.
Thank you. So we've had some limited engagement with the project around the Snowy scheme. I'm not aware of specific analysis of how flows into the system would change, but fundamentally the Snowy scheme is about reusing water within the system. The obligation to release water from the Snowy into the Murray or the Murrumbidgee as well, those obligations exist under the existing Snowy licences, and I'm not aware of any proposal that they would be changed. So generally the volumes of water that would come from the Snowy to the Murray system would remain the same. There could be a slight impact on potential for spill from the Snowy scheme in very large events, but I'm not aware of any specific assessment of that at this point in time.
And we would have we'll have ongoing discussions, obviously, as their projects and proposals proceed. It's early days, it's fair to say. So
I appreciate it's early days.
To add to those responses, though, Senator McLaughlin and Senator Davey asked the Snowy Hydro executives on Tuesday night, if my memory of this long week is correct, essentially the same question. They provided assurance that there is no change to the obligations that they have, nor do they expect to the way in which their water management operations will impact on flows into the system.
Thank you, Minister. I don't have any other questions.
Thank you very much, Senator McLaughlin.
Oh, and I should also add, of course, they are and have been subject to thorough environmental assessment processes as part of Snowy 2.0 as well.